microphone is a bit away from me, so if you can't hear me, that's why. Let me just fix that. So I just did one quick quest just a second ago that opened up access to this, which I think is more dungeons. We'll see. Honestly, I don't know what this is because I skipped through it. I didn't care enough. Damaska is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire as outermost territory. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the location of each of the barges, just in case. As for the fight itself, the current above Damascus are as wild as the land below. You may want to hold on. Forward unto dawn. I'm gonna see if this opens up another duty finder, and then I'm gonna just, if it does, I will accept it obviously, and then I'll just put myself in all of them, and if it doesn't, then I'll put myself in the ones I currently have, and we'll do this. I'm kind of curious about the Omega weapon stuff. That's sort of what I want to be my main focus on today. We'll complete our descent into... I missed that shortly. Ramza? I thought I made myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we are wasting time. It's cutscene after cutscene after cutscene. The royal city of Rabanastre. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some 1,000 years ago, but after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then your father believed that Rabanastre sits atop the royal city of Lessalia, capital of Ivilis? But if that's true, it could change history. We'd be famous. Famous. Are you sure you don't mean rich? Ha! Your kind are all alike. Parasites grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. Bold words for a boy but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it's time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. Please watching. Ooh. Not humanoids. You see, it is as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has it stopped us before? Fool. Do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call her. Warrior of light. He's like the lizard people from FF Tactics Advanced. And also FF11. The Royal Quarters of Rabanastre. Now available. Cool. So that makes another duty. Right, and whilst I'm waiting on those, let's start finishing the main quest I'm working on. So if you remember, the main quest, I'm searching for some ancient lost treasure. But first, let's fill out this map as much as I can. What is our estimate wait time? Less than 5 minutes. Well, we'll see how that goes. You want to hear an old maid story, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We've only seen His Royal Majesty. We'd only see His Royal Majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he ordered, and after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started sending seeing assassins in every shadow. And wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell bent on finding out what happened, in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Ernold. He was the king's head scribe. In the palace? No, not me, lass. Surely you've heard the stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung off the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from that place as possible. Yes, I'm Ernold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories? Yet if Alamigo is to move forward, we must need acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theocrid's paranoia and the public execution of his kinsman? Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturgy to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarch ended with him. Damn it. Alright, hopefully I get back in that just as quickly. Right, looks like we're doing a dungeon, so I'm probably going to want to system config, sound. Did not save those settings. I'm going to have to do that quickly because that will get very loud very quickly. Saint Morciana's Arboretum. Hard. talking without my mic on. I did not care for the music in this dungeon, it was kind of meh. Really meh. Whatever. Oh, I have no idea how I died. Literally no clue. It wasn't in anything. Okay, so we split up. And again, I don't know what killed me. Were we supposed to get behind that thing? Well, we can't res us, so we're shit out of luck. Bloody walk a mile. I mean, props to him for staying alive, but we can't get in there to help him, so I don't see why he doesn't just kill himself. Unless he truly believes he can handle it alone, in which case, good on him. Or them, whatever. Whee! Yeah, I think they're finally accepting their defeat. Wow, he's actually putting up a pretty good fight. There we go. So I'm not sure what we're supposed to do about that. So took up chi. Took up chi. I have XIV. Whatever. So, okay, flash my name. During the second cast of modified 2 mana later, as ads will spawn, these ads have low HP and may serve as obstruction for the newly created mudslide. and cannot be killed, only pushed via damage. Keep all the boss area of effect attacks away from the slime, including the periodic... Okay. Keep all the boss's attacks area of effect attacks away from the mud slime, including the periodic puddles. Explosion. Allow the mud slime to be hit with an attack will cause it to grow, causing it to deal more damage when it detonates. After roughly 45 seconds, the mud slime will cast corruption, dealing damage to the entire party based on how large it became. If the mud slime is not allowed to grow, instead only hits melee range. Okay. Did not mean to push that into that. Oh well. Ah. That's not good. There we go, it got bigger, it's gonna kill us. And... Yep. Slash follow. Yes. When time we fail, it's supposed to get easier, but... It's gonna fail towards victory. Okay, where's it spawning? There we go, stay in there. No, no, you don't want to knock it all the way off. Ah. We're gonna die again. Oh, you idiot! Well, we can't do shit about that. There we go. At this point, honestly, we just focus on beating it. They obviously don't understand English, but that's no surprise. I'm playing with people from all over the world. That's fine. We got it done. That's all that matters. Once we finish this and get out, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Good, I don't have to worry about anyone. None of them deserve a thing anyway. Fresh air at last. I tell you, it's clammier than a goblin's ass crack in there. I got out a few moments ago, but I won't be going back in anytime soon. I saw that you cleared a path for Midnight Dew and Edgif, though hopefully they'll be on their way back about now. Should have waited. Wait, I could have gone to the bathroom. Oh, I forgot to raise the volume. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Oh, you must be Belisar. I'm Edgif, a botanist of sorts. Perhaps Sawney or Midnight Dew mentioned me, or perhaps not. Anyway, I'm very grateful to you for helping us discover the secrets of that bizarre ooze. You see, the research material we found mentioned a concoction for rapidly turning plant matter into compost. It seems the mud was used to cultivate the ingredients for the formula. According to the Charlian reports, well, I will spare you the details of its botanical jargon. Let's just say that the mud makes seedkin in a word, angry. Growth formula for plants is all well and good, unless they're a sort that's liable to bite your bloody head off. Yes, I'm surprised that the Charlians didn't keep it in a safer place. In any case, we can use their findings to breathe new life into the soil of Dravania. As for the seedkin, a little water washes the mud right off. Allow me to demonstrate. How about a bit of pruning instead? I'm with Belisar on this one. Covered in muck or not, it's a bleeding nuisance either way. Now, leave the poor thing alone. I'm sure it'll behave itself. And more importantly, it looks like we've found a way to improve our dwindling harvests. And we couldn't have done it without you. I'll make sure that when the locals start tucking into all those lovely crops, they'll know who to thank. And I will be right back as I go to the bathroom. Actually, we're gonna TP back over to this area. Then I'm gonna go to the bathroom. BRB. I return. Let me just turn the volume back up. 49, fine. Alright, so we can take off That one. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin. Then, as promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of a fantastic traveler and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of a trove discovered, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Alagiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of a cursed abomination. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Balasov? His fear seemed genuine, at the very least. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Ernald's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I must look into. Arenvald, you spoke of a light-hearted adventurer, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so interested in finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. Well, we'll get to that. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot of my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover my scar. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was there that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folks for a measly crumb of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause, and claim the thrill of adventuring as your reward? Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. Okay, so fending contains a complete set of armor of fending, of slaying. I'm gonna go get a hoodie so I don't do that. It's in the room still. I need not to go anywhere. Right, You now summon a Magitech Predator mount. I'll have a look at that. P. General. What is no? Mount. Magitech Predator. Summon. Oh, it's one of these. That's cool. Yeah, I don't want to use it. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourned to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us recover on the southern edge of Loxeld. Or reconvene, not recover. Want to do that? Fire, Temple of the Fist. Battlescape. I guarantee I'm going to get into a dungeon while this is going on. Forgive me, 'twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while explaining things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Unbrook Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scalia, which rose and fell during the Fifth Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe, was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scalia. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely, and since we know the court formateur was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not. Balasar, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvold and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. I fucking caught it. Fortunately, it happened around the end. I'll have to come back here, but... Come on, tank. Alright, what am I... Oh, I'm doing the... Right, I'm doing the Ultima quest. The stuff I'm actually the most interested in, if I'm being honest. Deltascape. V1.0. Sorry, V1.0. Oh, the Quetzalcoatl. Is that our first adversary from the other realms? Balasar, do you hear me? Your opponent is called Otto Reut. No idea what that name means, but be careful. This is some classic Final Fantasy battle music right here, and I am digging it. That was a fun fight. Some bloody awesome music. Obtained a 10 and another 100. Oh, was I just given everything because no one else voted? No, I don't want to talk to Nero. Well done, my friend. We were lucky enough to witness every moment of your struggle via the datascape's various surveillance devices. I dare say we had a better view than you did. Gaining control over them was the extent of our accomplishment for this outing, though I suppose we did also learn your adversary's name. Rest assured, however, that there will be plenty more such outings. Preliminary analysis suggests that there are 4 combatants in the Deltascape, all told, including your friend Alteroit, which means you will be required to win 3 further bouts, with Delta 2 to 4, in this test world alone. Needless to say, there are plenty more such worlds in the Rift, holding the remaining 85 subjects between them. Plainly, our host has gone to no small amount of trouble. Quite why it is so obsessed with determining the strongest being is another question. Omega seeketh to improve itself, to evolve. This was ever its primary directive. Through contending with mighty foes, it groweth stronger. Having vanquished the vile simulacrum you call Shinryu, a greater adversary was needed. In the absence of such a being, it had but to create one. So, in the name of self-improvement, it wants to make a new playmate? And it chose to undertake the task here to avoid outside interference, yes? In part. The making of life is not Omega's primary function. It bringeth complex beings into the corporeal realm only at great cost to itself. As such, it employeth this plane to test unfinished works, that it might determine a single entity worthy of creation. If I understand you correctly, the moment Omega's grand experiment is completed, it will give birth to a creature mightier even than Shinryu, and then proceed to fight it? Gods help us all if a battle of that scale should come to pass. The powers unleashed would be enough to bring about another calamity. Assuming the dragon has the right of it, all test subjects needs he works in progress save for ourselves, of course, but how then do we explain Alpha? As I recall, it manifested corporeal outside the rift. And then again, it is hardly the most complex of creatures. Mayhap it was finished by accident? Don't make fun of Alpha. He's a good boy, and if it hadn't been for him, we would all have been erased. He might not be strong, but he's brave, and reliable, and adorable. Changing the subject for a moment, Chief. After your last track of Omega, you said you re-engaged its status system, right? Its stasis system, right? Meaning something somewhere isn't working like it should. I only ask because me and Wedge have done pretty much all we can here, and we're wondering if it might be worth going back to Cardanon to look into it. That would be a great help. Nero and I can handle things at this end. We'll be off then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, eh? And you be a good boy, Alpha. Do as you're told and look after Belisar for me. I want Alpha as a mount. Like a proper chocobo-sized mount, but cartoon plushie style. So what level am I? I'm level 73. We must pray that Biggs and Wedge are able to repair the stasis system. If they can't, we will have little choice but to see Omega's experiment all the way to the bitter conclusion. A tall order, I concede, and one that would require you to prove yourself the mightiest of beings in creation. Well, we must hope for the best and plan for the worst, which in this case means pressing on with the tests. Are you ready for the next foray? One moment, Chief. My analysis is yet incomplete, but it would seem Subject Delta 2 is capable of manipulating gravity. How fortunate, then, that I but recently chanced to assemble something which might mitigate its effects. An anti-gravity gimbal. May it serve you well. Quare. Alfred is eager to proceed. You may enter Escape 2.0 whenever you are ready. Sorry about the snorting, but I think I have a cold coming on. Right. Let's see if we can't complete this quest by the time my next dungeon is up and available. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. You come to a worn stone door, standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. Belisar, it's Alphino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by enchantments. Have you aught to report? And you believe it leads into the ruins? Excellent. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, come on, you two. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. Alright, so now I can't proceed until I finish that dungeon. So let's withdraw, and we'll add that to the list. Now I'm basically just waiting to complete dungeons. So what piece do I... Okay, so I don't have the boots. The feet. I will accept that as soon as I make it over here if I have enough time. I should be fine. There we go. Alright, what am I facing this time? Ooh. Escape V2.0. Ah, there it is. Catastrophe, a fitting name for the havoc it will dazzle on the street. Have fun now. That looks gross. Oops, I don't mean to click that. Guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, do we just go up? Nope. It'll wear off in a... I do not know where to stand to not die. You know what, screw this. We weren't gonna make it to 3 stars. He's gonna die any second now. There we go. Duty completed. Treasures. I'll take them all, why the hell not? I don't know what I can use them on, but I'll take them. A rousing performance, made possible by my anti-gravity gimbal. Lest you wonder, you are not supposed to be able to descend on your own volition. The device worked quite as intended. It just wasn't intended for use on living. Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly its intended use. At any rate, that's another mighty foe laid low, and may I say that I had every faith in your success. I doubt we'll be hearing from Biggs or Wedge for a while yet. Shall we push on here in the meantime? We're reliable as ever. Without further ado, then let us move things along. According to the analysis, your next opponent, Delta 3, is a being named Halisarnassus. Halisarnassus, you say, the queen of the dimensional castle. What's this? You know of her? You mean you don't? Well, I suppose a blue-blooded brat such as you would have no interest in humble folktales. It appears a lesson is in order. Halisarnassus is a character from an ancient fable in the tale. In the tale, she is one of the chief antagonists, and as such things are wont to unfold, she meets her end at the hands of the heroes. Incurable, valiant youths, not unlike our adventurer friend here. Literary histories have speculated that the tale could be loosely based on events which took place in the Fourth Astral Age, but little remains of that age, and there is no way to verify the claim. Indeed, most now assume the story to be the work of pure fiction. You mean to tell me that Omega is proposing its grand experiment with fictional characters? 'Twould seem you understanding is yet lacking. Scant grasp have I of that which men know and know not. Mark me then, Omega hath no soul, no mind's eye in which to envision a rival. To bring forth new life it must need draw upon that which hath already been, its every creation being another's conception. This limitation is concealed by the breadth of its experience. It possesseth the means to retain the knowledge of an entire era, and not only of this reflection, yet it perceiveth not this knowledge as we do. Fact, fiction, this distinction holdeth no meaning for Omega. All is equal in its eye. If a thing is logical, it can be created. That such a wondrous weapon would exist. It surpasses my wildest imaginations, and they were wild indeed. But I gather not everyone shares my excitement. What's the matter, Garland? Lost your nerve? Quiet, Nero. We adults are thinking. But mayhap now isn't the time. Balasar said she was ready to continue, and so am I. Let's deal with this. Halisarnassus. Don't escape. V 3.0, now accessible. 370, I might have enough to get the feet. Oh, the Omega Parts Exchange. Alright, so I have... So what is that? The Get Up, the of Striking. Not as good as what I'm wearing. Not as good as what I'm wearing. What about the twos? It's purely entirely not for my class. Ah, so that's the Delta Scape stuff, but as I get to the Sigma Scape and the Alpha Scape, I might get stuff that's actually worthwhile for me, like this, which is 380, slightly better than what I'm wearing. So what am I wearing? I'm wearing the Augmented Scaven. And I need 334 to get you. Yeah, now I just need to, other? No. So the Slain, I need 280. So 280 times 5. So 1,000 plus 8 times 5 is 40. So 1,400. So I don't know where to get the sword, but that's fine. Well, at this point, we're just waiting to... get in a dungeon. Oh, we've got 2 tanks and 2 depths. There it is, the Delta Skate 3.0. Who's our next challenger? What fools are these who have entered my domain? No matter. You shall remain here for my pleasure. Excuse me. Toaded. There's a lot going on in this fight. I don't know if I want to stand in that or out of it. Oh, in it is. Let the board be changed. Shit. You obtained a 10 Elegon and another 100 on top. And I'm gonna read it all. I get it or I don't. I'm glad you're safe. For a moment I feared you might croak. Forgive me, you deserve better than that. Thanks to you, we are but one victory away from claiming the Deltascape. Take as much rest as you need. You've earned it. The final battle of the Deltascape is upon us. We shall take their scape and their deltas. The next battle is with Subject Delta 4, this test world's final foe. From what I have been able to gather, your opponent is, and I quote, a great tree born of an agglomeration of evil will, which assumes the form of a dark mage, all of which I suggest you ignore. Sounds like we're fighting Exdeath. Yep, his name is Exdeath, and he plays the role of chief antagonist in another ancient tale of Final Fantasy V. Though I was unable to glean the specifics of his abilities, he appears to command the power of the Void, as indeed the story states. When I first encountered the work, I naturally assumed said power to be a metaphor of sorts, but I am quite sure Omega will have interpreted it as something more tangible. Alas, no amount of analysis can tell us what may happen when Exdeath calls upon the power of the Void, which is to say, beware. Tell me something, Nero. What happened at the end of the tale? Why, good triumphs over evil and the heroes defeat Exdeath, of course. What did you expect? I expected exactly that, which is precisely what troubled me earlier. If the heroes won, why did Omega not make them its test subjects? If it seeks to determine the strongest being, why would it bother with those who were defeated? One moment. Ah, Biggs. At the control room, are you? What's the news? I see. Very well. I'll tell the others. You two take care over there. Sorry for the interruption. That was Biggs. He reports that the stasis system shows every signs of being engaged, despite the fact that it clearly isn't. It can only be a malfunction. While we were able to turn it off, it would seem the reverse is not possible. The system may have taken damage during the calamity. Does it look like it can be repaired? Hard to say. They tell me it seems complex even by Allagan standards. While they may be able to fix it, there's no telling how long it might take. Well then, we must keep on fighting the good fight, must we not? Nura has the right of it. At this time, focusing on XDEF would seem to be our only recourse. Quack! The Chocobo suddenly has no objection. Come then, I would see you follow in the footsteps of the heroes of the tale. I do enjoy this, fighting the bosses of past FF7s, past Final Fantasies. I don't know what game the last one was from though, or the other two. They may not have been final bosses. They may have just been regular bosses. But XDEF is, or the Void is, the final boss of FF5. And we certainly didn't fight Kefka there, though we might fight him later. A new contender. I see a plus quest there. I do a plus quest there. Ah! Mother fricker. Now, you know what? I'm not gonna bother. Actually, that's a lie. I will. Let's see what it leads to. It's needed a skilled warrior. Nah, I don't want to do it. I can always come back to it later. When I decide I would, get an experience for other classes. Poetic Tomes of Poetics. Allagan Tomes of Poetics. So, level 70 weapons, I don't know, from Enna at Rauga's Reach and the Sundry Supply Vendor in Kugane. So let's TP to Kugane and see if there's... What is the time? It is 10 PM on the dot. Or 10:02 as my phone says. Sundry Supply Vendor. Alphascape stuff. that requires 8 Alphascape data logs 4.0. And what is Alphascape data log 4.0? What is like the drop chance of that? That's not helpful at all. Miscellaneous one, required level 1, data logs at the same time can be traded for special game. Useless. Is 395 and requires Seiryu tokens. Where the hell do I get Seiryu totems? Seiryu totems. FMXIB. You get them from the Reef of Snakes Extreme. Ooh, getting a proper raid. Alright, I'm also gonna get those 4 plus quests next time when I finish this. They may also open up more dungeons for me. Come on, last DPS. DPS accept. Mother trucker. Alright, is there a... Ugh. Thank you. Alright, this should be interesting. Full party. Teleportation crystal. I know where I can stand! arrive in the palace square. I literally have no idea what's going on. Oh, shite balls. Get out of there. Well, damn it. One of them fell on me. Where was it? Right into another boss. Sky Pirate scroll and Smith. Yeah, everyone's just making us move faster. Ruffakel. Jesus, the amount of debuffs that are instantly thrown on him. Nope, I gotta defy that. Probably shouldn't have stood there. Uh-oh. I am stuck in this. I am... Ugh. See, I am 100% going to die. Ooh, the air here feels wrong. Can't you sense it? To fuck?
Who dares disturb the slumber of Argath Fadalfos, rightful king of Ivalice? Descendants of House Beowulf? Then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell!
Cool. Loot. Greed. Yes, take me to the area.
Kneel and repent! Does it grieve you to see the depths of your own weakness laid bare? Maggots! You do not belong in my world. Step into nothing. Upon which you suck. You will be judged. The world has no place for such wretches. Your claim to life is forfeit. You are the blood to stain the circle. I am Revelation! You will be judged. I am Revelation! Fool is the dog who bears his teeth. The world has no place for such wretches. Your claim to life is forfeit.
Yeah, let me die. Ooh. Take a res, please. Whatever. Zodiac Thriller.
This body, it is not my own. Oh gods, what have I done? Save me! Ramza! Save me!
your city at Rabanastre complete. Return to the starting point. They're resting me. TY. You can have it. I'm gonna need, read, pass. And I don't care about triple triad. Where am I? Father? Ramza, and the Warrior of Light. Yes, I know of you, but that you should come to my rescue. Words fail me. A poor playwright I must be. Yeah, I figured it would be these guys. The terms you're looking for is thank you, upon which note I, Bar Ganan, bounty hunter, do humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now, hand over the aura sight unless you wish to see the desert sands turn red, and be quick. Gijuk here does not have the steadiest of hands. That one, she will bring it to me. Yes, this is it. The Duma. And to think we found it so close to Doma, the Duma of Doma. Enough, Bragi. We would not have our guests think us I don't know what that said, I missed the lesson. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course, Abagan is always true to his words. I will be keeping this, though. Father. You've only yourselves to blame for this, but if you mislike the fort, you could always blame the gods. Not that they are listening. Or, you know, we could blame you, the people who did it. Get up, fool, we're leaving. I don't know. I suspect the blame lies to the people that did the thing. You're going to be alright. cannot see to your father here. Come, we must get him back to the Prima Vista. Junimus remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady, and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Ah, he left the Delta Scape for this. Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you, Sid, it was never my intentions to put you to such trouble. I am ever in your debt. You could have done the same for me, Genomus. Besides, it was Balasar here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. He is right. I have done naught to deserve your kindness, yet I am its benefactor nonetheless. Whatever. Beneficiary, that's what it... So if I understand correctly, you're saying Orosite does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an Acon, as was assumed to be the case with Iseo and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's Aether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to the host's body? If that's the case, our Charlayan allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legends would have us believe that Delita Hayrel, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story, but as I have discovered, there was two others in fact, siblings whose roles faded from subsequent retellings of the story, a brother and a sister by the name of Ramza and Alma. Then, to prepare for this assignment, I pored over every published work on Ivelician legend I could lay my hand on, and nowhere did I find any mention of these siblings. But I did uncover irrefutable evidence that Delita had a close companion named Ramza, who aided him in his rise to power. This in turn led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after these lost players. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Sid, but you must believe me, Iblis has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is, and forever will be, my calling, my purpose, my family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genomus Senlexinate. Sintail. Yet that is but my stage name. I missed that. Countless generations past, it was my ancestor who joined the Dural Papers, an account of Iblis and the War of the Lion, that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You are tired, Father. Rest, I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Orin Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Orin found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lion, Orin believed the people of Iblis had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement, and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai paper were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in the church vaults, the truth about Evilus along with them. It was so damning that it would drive the church to do such a thing. The answer to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down for untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family name. Forbidden Chronicles, a secret family legacy. Not that I doubt you, Genimus. But how do you expect to convince people of all of this, when well nigh every soul in the realm believes Evilus to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And when people see that Evilus was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for review, we would of course have done so long ago, but alas it is not. The Durai paper you see are written in High Evilusian, an ancient tongue, long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him labored tirelessly to decipher this tome, but for want of other sources made only fitful progress. A word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Rabanastre turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the paper. Then, the diary stolen by the Bangar bounty hunters? I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned of the language was contained in those pages. Then we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcripts as well as some few translated passages, and of course my father's impeccable memory. I have come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth if it is the last thing I do. It is as Master Garland says, he is a man obsessed, and I fear Evilus's grip on him will grow only tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Rabanastre with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe, please. Another piece of orosite. After what I've seen here, I'm all but convinced that Evilus exists, at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy from a challenge, especially when it means the story of the century. If you're in, Balasar, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise you. Where in the world have you been? Did you not receive Alma's summons? Principal Lexentale's research into orosite may finally have borne fruit. You must hurry to the Prima Vista before they embark on some grand perilous adventure without us. Alright, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to collect all the plus quests that I've got up here. And then I'm actually just going to call it. Ah, Who should stand before me but the hero who shattered the shackles of oppression in Doma and Alamigo both? In spite of your burgeoning fame, I am honored that you would willingly share your precious time with the humblest minstrel, with this humblest of minstrels. If I may ask, how are you enjoying the Far East with its many charms? It is an easy place to like, indeed. It holds a special place in my heart. You may even say it's a second home to me, often as I find myself here on my endless quest for verse. And of this particular visit, the proprietor of the theatre chanced to hear me perform and took a shine to my work. One thing led to another, and a number of my songs were adapted for stage. Such are the crowds they have drawn. I have since been commissioned to write a piece for a new production. That is not to brag, mind you, nay, far from it, for though I am glad the approval, the truth is I have been struggling to summon forth the inspiration with which to fuel my creativity. But of course your recent exploits could well provide me with the imagination I need. Such events you must have witnessed, such emotions experienced in your struggles to liberate Doma and Alamigo from the clutches of the Empire. Though the tales have been doing their rounds, there is no substitute for first-hand accounts. Nay, I would see from the eyes of she who stood in the thick of it and know the depths of her heart. I shall remain in Kugane while I compose my piece for the Mujikoza. Whenever you can spare a moment, I ask you to regale unto me your recent adventures, and I shall see to it they are immortalized within these halls. Please tell me I'm not... Sorry, I don't care enough. Just... okay, yeah, I thought this might be the case, that this is just how I get the extreme dungeons. And I'm willing to bet as I fight more and more enemies, I get more of them to come talk to him about. Alright, so now we go to the king of the castle. Oh, thank heavens, I am in dire need of a capable adventurer, and I can think of none better. Local officials have been working desperately to keep this confidential, but there is trouble in Kugane Castle. It has been overrun by a band of outlaws. What's more, they've taken hostages, a number of nobles along with Bugyo, Kugane's highest magistrate. They're demanding the country borders be closed off, insisting Kugane's effort to establish ties with other countries is folly. Why, if they had their way, I imagine foreigners, or Ijin, as they call them, would never set foot here ever again. Under normal circumstances, the Sekisei Gumi would have taken steps to immediately resolve this crisis, but they dare not do anything to put the Bugyo at greater risk. Yeah, okay. The generalities of this is, I'm willing to bet, ends with me doing a dungeon. The Bokairo Inn. I am less sorry, but I don't care enough. Quest accepted. Oh, I think this might be a, that looked very, Monster Hunter. So that this might be sort of like a, you know, quest, like a collab. Yeah, I figured that'd be this. Alright, so I'm gonna call it here because I'm very hungry. I might come back on later to continue doing some dungeons. I might not. But we'll see how things go. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Ciao for now.